In regard to Obuasi, the site remains clear of illegal miners and care and maintenance activities are ongoing. Ghana has definitely done a 180-degree turnaround in the first half this year following the election of the new government of President Nana Akufo-Addo. The government has made its support for Obuasi's redevelopment very clear in its election manifesto. We are engaging with the Government of Ghana to obtain all the requisite consents and approvals. We are very pleased to say that this engagement is progressing well and we anticipate having everything in place before the end of the year. On the environmental front, we have agreed and executed a new reclamation security agreement which defines the approach and the cost range for reclamation of this 120-year-old mine. And following public consultation and approval of the scoping reports by the EPA, we have submitted the final EIS based on which the EPA would issue permits. Assuming that all the government consents and approvals are received, we would approach Obuasi's redevelopment in a phased manner, which enables a reasonably quick start to gold production and reduces the capital cost. Mining would start in the Sansu and Block 8 areas, progressing to Block 10 and then the very high-grade Block 11 area. The first year would involve establishment of the project and operating teams, the recommencement of mining and the refurbishment of plant and infrastructure to enable a commencement of operations in the second year at 2,000 tonnes a day. Production would ramp up to 4,000 tonnes per day in the third and subsequent years. Gold production would start at 200,000 ounces per annum, increase to 300,000 ounces per annum for the first 10 years, and increase further to 400,000 ounces per annum when the high-grade area at Block 11 is reached. Mine life would be over 20 years, producing over 8 million ounces. Compared to a larger project, this approach provides a very good capital efficiency and returns that are comfortably above our benchmarks.
We are still doing the work in terms of capital, but the capital will be certainly significantly lower than what was originally contemplated. If you remember, at one stage it was between $800 to $1 billion, but it's going to be significantly lower than that, and we'll put out the exact numbers once we have completed our review and engagement with the government. Are we looking for joint venture partners, or are we likely to do it on our own? All options remain open in that regard. We have not closed any door in relation to option. Whatever gives us the best value in terms of shareholders, that's what we'll do. Then in terms of the agreements which we need with the government, it's really around the reclamation security agreement which governs the environmental provisions that has actually been signed. Then the second is the investment development agreement, which talks about the investment going in, the conditions for that investment, and the fiscal regime for that. That is currently being negotiated with the government. Then obviously we are seeking the commitment in terms of security. What I can say with regard to the security is the government has already taken the steps to ensure security is provided not just in terms of Obuasi but across all Ghanaian operations, and you've seen comments in the Ghanaian media about the stance the government has taken against illegal mining. Illegal miners have left the Obuasi concession. They are not anywhere operating in Obuasi, and the government has taken a clear view that they'd rather support structured large and small-scale mining as opposed to illegal mining in that regard. And in terms of the exact loss which we have suffered on this, I don't want to discuss numbers in here. Our care and maintenance costs are published in our accounts, and all of these will be part of the negotiations with the government. Then turning to Sadiola, the ball is very much in the government's court. I must point out, what we are waiting for is which mining code actually applies in terms of the operations, because we are subject to a current mining code, and obviously the government wants to look at a new mining code under which the project should fall under. And we had received a bunch of fiscal framework and power tariffs, etc. when we were going to do the project back in 2012 before the gold price fell. We're really seeking to have those reinstated to enable the project economics to work. And here again, we're not rushing to spend money on the project. We are currently mining oxides, and we'll complete processing the oxides by the end of this year. At the end of the day, that project has to meet our return criteria, and we have explained that clearly to the government. Really on this one, the ball is in the government's court to come back.
Whilst we remain positive on the potential at Sadiola, the ball is firmly in the Mali government's court with respect to negotiations around the agreements we need to proceed. Meanwhile, we'll mine oxides into early next year and continue processing into 2019. Our mine plans are being reviewed and will change depending on the progress on our negotiations with government.